Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. So now we arrive to the second part of data analysis slide. So we are going to learn how to prepare the data from this video. So let's start. First, let's recall back on the type of 4 scales data that you have learned previously. So we have nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So I hope you know the differences between them. So the first one, nominal, it is normally used to describe about group or a label of data or name of data. So the way that you can represent this type of data is using frequencies or percentage. Okay. The second one, ordinal, is just like the above, to describe groups or labels, not names, some variables that have categories that can be ranked. Okay, so they are ranks data. So it uses numbers only to indicate ranking, right? So the third one, interval. So it is a data that describe exactly the value, and it assumes that equal difference between scores really mean equal difference in the variables measured, right? However, interval scale does not have 0 values. It can be negative and positive. The fourth one, ratio, it can be all of the above here. Assumes that equal, it's just like here, interval scale, but it has 0 points. Okay? So how to prepare for the analysis? So you have to make sure that all the collected data are scored accurately and consistently. Okay? If you have the data, it should come from the same procedures and criteria, right? It should come from the same questionnaire to be included in one data analysis. One score data must be tabulated and coded accurately and systematically. Alright, so the raw data sets need to be processed in order to provide meaning to the objectives or hypotheses of your research project. Okay, so what does it mean? So it means that when you arrange the data, it should be based on the same objectives, or it can be in different objectives, but it is in correct order. Let's say you have 3 or 4 questions regarding objective 1, so have them all aligned in the same group, or they are side by side to each other in different columns. Okay. Data sets needs to be aggregate, organized, coded, and entered into either manually or computer constructed recording system. Right. So this one I will explain to you after this. So SPSS. I know that a lot of you have SPSS in your laptop. However, some of you may not be able to use it since you're using student's license. But anyhow, I just want to introduce you to SPSS. Why do we need to use it? As you can see, the name itself, okay, statistical package for the social sciences. It is good for the studies related to social sciences, right? It can analyze data from questionnaire survey. So as for SPSS Windows, it's available for IBM, compatible with personal computer using Microsoft Windows system. This software enables researchers to conduct statistical analysis of quantitative data, and it is one of the most frequently used software packages for quantitative data analysis. So if you have the skills in computing for SPSS, it will be good because you can use it in the future if you conduct more research regarding social sciences. The good about SPSS is that it helps you to enter and store data. Okay, there will be some partition that you can put as folders, and all the data will be kept there, so it's easy for you to find in the future. You can analyze data using univariate, bivariate, and multivariate statistics. Can create data files, output files, and graphics, right? They are beautiful figures, okay? And the tabular results also can be printed, can prepare graphs and charts, okay? Automatically. You don't have to, customize it, collect. You will be given in certain ways, in certain colors. Okay, it is nice. It's fast compared to some analysis software packages. They are quite tedious to do. You have to create the axis file. You have to create the axis, x and y. You have to list the label, and then you have to pick the point, what type of points, the color. So in SPSS it's easy. Okay? You just compute. You can just click, and you can get the result. But you need to learn how to interpret it. Alright, so before we code the data, there involve 3 steps. Okay, the development of codes, data entry, and data cleaning. Right, so raw data are turned into numerical representations. The code was developed for each of the response sets in the questionnaire, and numerical codes were arranged for each response. Right, so you need to have certain ways on how to categorize all the variables. Okay, put them in one note, and let's say you have questions in certain scales. You need to know what that scales are about. Okay, write them in that note. So or you can use a code book, okay, to record all the codes assigned to response categories for each question in survey, right? And you can also jot down which objectives the questions are for. Okay, so that is before you start analysis. And you want to enter data. There are many ways that you can enter your data into SPSS. So the first is transfer sheets. Second is age coding, direct data entry by interviewers, scanners, and spreadsheets. Right. In our case, since we are going to use online platform to distribute the questionnaires, it is easy already for you. For example, using Google Form, they will help you to arrange all the data directly into tables, okay, in Excel tables. So it's just you who need to identify what type of questions are they, belong to which objectives, and the code itself, you have to understand how to simplify them. Okay, so you might be using this direct data entry by interviewers. Okay, direct data entry, this one is different than this one. This is you who are the one who entered the data. Okay, each coding, you are using coding to put your data. Okay, transfer sheets. Okay, you just have it in different sheets and put it in a new sheets. Right, sometimes you will be using data from secondary resources, so you will scan them, right? And that is the use. Alright, or you will be using from spreadsheets. Alright, after you enter the data, you have to clean them. So there are two types of cleaning. The first is possible code cleaning. The second one is contingency cleaning. Right. The difference between these two. Okay, the first one is something like when you have questions in your questionnaires, you ask about gender, for example. Okay, so it will be only between 3, 1, 2, or 0. Okay, maybe they don't answer that, they leave it blank, okay, unintendedly. So you will expect only to have 3 possible outcomes or 3 possible answers. However, in your data, you found that there is 5 answer for that question. So you know that it is a wrong compute answer. So it's either you exclude it or you find the participant and ask them to correct it. Or you know yourself, that person, girl or boy or male or female, so you can do it yourself. Contingency cleaning. Right, so for contingency cleaning is a bit complicated than possible code cleaning, but not so difficult. It is something like, let's say you ask question about a girls' school. Okay, you have let's say you have 3 choices. Okay, you have girls' schools, boys' school, or unisex schools. Okay, you have these 3 options. That particular answer was actually from a man, but he had wrongly answered one, as girls' school. How can a boy went into a girls' school, right? So from there, you know there is something wrong. So it's either you clean it or you have to check again. Maybe there's something changed in his past. Maybe he's a woman previously. Okay, so you have to check this, right? So data cleaning is important because it came from human errors. So errors, coders assigning the wrong codes and mistake from respondents, scoring 2 respondents instead of 1. Okay, this is also one of the example. Okay, it happens when they should only answer 2 respond, but they only answer 1. Okay, so that could also another way of looking at data cleaning. Alright, so that's all. Thank you for watching.